What's going on, y'all? Welcome back to another episode. Y'all know what time it is. We have game one of the second round. Denver Nuggets versus the Phoenix Suns coming up in just over an hour, y'all. And I cannot wait. I know you're excited. I know Nuggets fans are excited. I know Suns fans are excited. I know the NBA community at large is excited. Today, this game is a clash of styles. You're going to see a mid-range specialist pull-up jump shooting team in the Phoenix Suns with three of the best pull-up jump shooters in the NBA and Kevin Durant, Chris Paul, and Devin Booker. You're going to see DeAndre Ayton himself, who also is a good mid-range shooter from the 3 to 10-foot area for a big man as well. And then on the other side, you got a team that likes to get layups, that likes to get dunks, that likes to shoot threes, high-quality threes. They don't lead the NBA in attempts, but they get maybe the best shot quality in the league. You got Nikola Jokic dominating the paint, great mid-range shooter, good three-point shooter. You got Jamal Murray, three-level scorer who in the playoff takes it to a whole different level, a 27 points per game scorer on 50% from two, 42% from three, and 91% from the line. And then you got Michael Porter Jr., who, as a driver, has been excellent, over an 80% effective field goal percentage on drives this year, averaging over 1.3 points per possession on spot-ups as a spot-up shooter. And then on top of that, the dude, contested shots don't bother him at all. And then you get the Aaron Gordon dunker, hanging out near the rim, finishing with contact. Hey, decent three-point shooter, shot really well from the free throw line. You got KCP, corner three-point specialist. Bruce Brown, who can attack off the dribble, decent three-point shooter. And then on top of that, you got Jeff Green, you got Christian Brown. The Phoenix Suns, loaded, great team. Once the trade happened in February, everybody said this is the team to be in the West. Once the trade happened in February, they were the prohibited favorite to come out of the West per the sports books. So you have an opportunity to see the team that has Kevin Durant, some feel the best player in the NBA, with Devin Booker. And then on the other side, you got Nikola Jokic, who I have said should be the 3 straight MVP winner, who had the best season of the NBA again. And then he had back-to-back MVP as well. You got him. You got Jamal Murray, who is fully actualized in playoffs, who may have his best playoff series. We'll see. Maybe he can top the Utah Jazz series. You got all this stuff working together. So if that's the case, how do the Denver Nuggets and Phoenix Suns attack each other? How do they make sure they're playing high-quality basketball? Now, here's the really interesting thing to note. The Suns are going to have a lot of advantages that they can try to isolate. Because the fact of the matter is, tonight in game one, they're going to try to experiment with the pick-and-roll pull-up as much as possible. And it's important that they do so. And the reason it's important that they do so is because they have the advantage over Jokic, who, again, is not great in space. But on top of that, centers in general in the NBA typically don't do that super well. So with all that being said, it's really important tonight for the Denver Nuggets to be able to solidify themselves on defense and making sure that they're not letting Booker, KD, CP3, if they're going to get to the mid-range shot, that they're not getting to the rim as well. So this is going to be a test of theories because the Suns, they didn't play against high-level competition in the regular season, and they didn't play against high-level competition in the playoffs with this roster. They didn't because KD got hurt, 3 games into the time he came over, and then they played against Chicago, looked great versus Chicago, but then after he got hurt, they played against a lot of mid-teams, and the Nuggets didn't play anybody versus them in the last 2 games. So if you add all that stuff together, what does this look like versus an elite team who I think arguably could be the best team remaining in the playoffs? And then obviously the Boston Celtics as well. I think that, it's going to be a dogfight down the stretch because, the Lakers just beat Memphis. They looking like a completely different team. They look great. The Warriors and the Kings are still going back and forth. You got Jimmy Butler taking out Batman and Giannis and all them. So, we're going to have to find out. But this is going to be a proof of concept, as you heard from Adam Mares and Ryan Blackburn and Matt Moore, because they have a pull-up shooting system. But are they going to be able to get quality looks? And on the other end, can the Suns defend the Nuggets pick and roll well? Because the Nuggets have one of the most dangerous pick and roll schemes in the playoff because Jamal Murray has averaging almost the same amount of points per possession as a pick and roll ball handler as Devin Booker. And then Nikola Jokic, that 4-5 pick and roll, y'all, I think it's going to be a real thing. And the reason I think it's going to be a real thing is Ayton, KD. If you can make both of them work in space and have to come up away from the paint, AG, roll to the basket, done. Hey, if they try to build pressure and they want to do a little switch system there, then you got Kevin Durant on Nikola Jokic. And then on the other side of that, if they got flanked by MPJ and KCP, when you do that 4-5 pick and roll, are you going to help off the side that AG is rolling from? So if AG is rolling to the basket, Devin Booker or Chris Paul steps up, or Josh Okogie, whoever's on the quarters, then you got KCP and MPJ. And then can you rotate back up to Jamal Murray? And then by that time, can you get the ball, get enough action going towards the rim that you get an even better look for one of the corner shooters, or you can get a layup or a dunk? There's a lot of things that are happening there. So I think the important thing here is, how do the Suns maximize their offensive possessions, but how do the Nuggets make sure that even if they are getting to their spots, that they're contested? Because the thing that I think for me that makes this series so interesting is that I think might come down to a math problem. Because you know what? The Suns, I want to say one of those games, I think they might have shot 32 of 50 from the mid-range in the first game. I think on cleaning the glass, I think that's the number that I pulled. So, but if that's the case, and the Suns are going to shoot really well from mid, well, that's cool. But again, a mid-range shot from a great mid-range shooter is still a worse shot than a great shot at the rim from any rotation player, any of them, and especially from Nikola Jokic and Jamal Murray, Michael Porter Jr., Aaron Gordon, KCP, Bruce Brown, Christian Brown, Jeff Green. So if you getting 2-pointers at the rim, then great, because that means Ayton is just not a factor right now. And then on top of that, a 3-pointer is still even better for you to get a 3-pointer, because again, just the way the NBA works, that if you are able to maximize 3-point opportunities, then you want to live with that. But I do think on the other side of this, the Nuggets are going to have to do a really good job on their closeouts period, because what's going to happen is, if the Nuggets are in a drop and they're going to give Chris Paul some space to work. Now, Bruce Brown and KCP in particular, they're really good at navigating a lot of these screens. So they're going to try to make it as difficult as possible. But one of the best things, so I will say, Kevin Durant, Devin Booker, and CP3 will not present Nikola Jokic the same kind of threat as a ball handler going down the rim as Anthony Edwards. The good thing is that, again, they're still good. Like, they're still able to do it if they need to, but they want to get to those pull-up shots. So if you can be Jokic and stay disciplined in your feet, disciplined with where your body is, and you can keep them in front of you, then great, contest that. Help KCP, help Jamal, help Bruce Brown, help Christian Brown. As you're trying to navigate, as CP3 is trying to snake, as Devin Booker is trying to snake, do whatever you can to make sure they can't just get straight to the basket. Because Jokic, your biggest thing is you got to make sure that you're taking up enough space, that you can do enough as a contester, that while they're trying to navigate to one of these angles on the right or the left side of that free throw line, you don't want them getting too deep, and you also don't want them getting by you. So I think in this instance, this is going to be a great opportunity for Nikola Jokic to be able to take advantage of the fact that he has the size. But on the other side of this, I think then again, because you have these really good defenders, I think people are going to be a little surprised because again, if you go back to the regular season matchups, I watched Bruce Brown, I watched KCP, and I watched Christian. They actually did a fairly good job of getting around a lot of these screens. And this is going to come down to, can you do that good enough on enough opportunities to make it to where this is a viable defense and you're contesting at a high level? That's what's important. I think Jokic's main responsibility is not getting beat to the rim here. Make them shoot mid-ranges. And then on the other side of the court, maximize the fact that they don't have Rudy Gobert. They don't have Nickeil Alexander-Walker, who's a better defender than Josh Okogie, especially given the actions that the Nuggets like to run. And then on top of that, they don't have Rudy Gobert at the paint. And they have Bismack Biyombo behind DeAndre Ayton and Jack Lawndale. The Nuggets should absolutely do whatever they can to get to the rim and draw fouls as much as possible, because, again, I'm attacking Ayton. I'm attacking Bismack. I'm attacking KD, because they don't have paint presence. They don't. And if you can get them out of the way, that's just going to be a really smart thing for you to do, because, again, their offense is also dependent on, if they do get in a short roll opportunity with DeAndre Ayton, that they can take them little mid-range shots and he can hit them at a decent enough level. So I want to get Ayton rattled if I can, and I also want to make sure that, look, if I can get you out the game and get Bismack in there, he has a little floater he likes to shoot, but way less of an offensive threat than Ayton. And I want to see if I can get that done as well. So I think there's a couple of things that the Nuggets need to be looking out for. But again, it's going to be a really, really, really good game tonight. Honestly, like, there's so many ways it can go. This is how I'll say. I think the Denver Nuggets win tonight because I think the Denver Nuggets come out and I think they set the tone. I think they're going to set a tone of the expectation for the rest of the series. And I think, I asked Matt the other day, do you think the Nuggets are looking for maybe a little vengeance or anything from 2 years ago? And he said, no, just they don't even think about that. Just the vibe I'm getting, which I, absolutely believe. I think more so than anything, I think the Nuggets believe they are the best team. They believe they're the best team. Jamal Murray believes they're the best team. Nikola Jokic just believes that they're the best team. They respect their opponent. Jamal Murray said that we're not going to overrate or underrate them. We're going to respect them. They're next opponent on the list, and this is who we have to play. This NBA playoffs. I think that they're going to come out and be ready to go. So I'm predicting that the Denver Nuggets, they do get a win tonight. I think I'll say this: if the Denver Nuggets are able to go up 2-0 in this series, that's big. That puts a lot of pressure on the Phoenix Suns. And I think the Nuggets need to come out and protect home court because unlike other teams, the Nuggets are good enough to be able to do that and for that to mean a little bit more than other teams going up 2-0. Like, for instance, the Kings going up 2-0 versus the Warriors. But I said that's a 7-game series from the out. Before the series started, I said it was a 7-game series because I just don't think the Warriors are going to get closed out like that. So even if you win the first two, the Warriors are going to win at home, which they did. And then they went back to Sacramento, and then they won. And Sacramento went back to Golden State, and they won. Now it's game 7 where they're going to try to light the beam again for the last time. So in this series, though, I think it's really important that if the Denver Nuggets were able to create that much of an advantage to open the series up, then the Suns they're going to have to scramble. And I think Nikola Jokic tonight, I don't know which version we get, if this is going to be a high-scoring Joker game, if we're going to get a high playmaking, which we always do from Joker. But I think Joker does need to set the tone. And I think he needs to deliver to DeAndre Ayton and to the Phoenix Suns real early. Like, look, this is going to be the series for you. This is what it's going to be like. And again, people are asking questions and the Suns are committed to playing me one-on-one. All right, well, okay, you saw what I did to Rudy with, 26, 12, and 9 with a 43-point game in there. And then I had a game, obviously, where, we won by 29 points. I had 14 points. Well, if we get a blowout tonight, then it's going to be a low-scoring game because, we're winning, everybody's moving. But if we're in a game tonight, I think Joker needs to absolutely flame that matchup because I want to put as much pressure on him as possible to be like, our original game plan was to let him go one-on-one. We just can't. We can't survive that way. We just can't. And I think Jamal needs to rip this apart. I think KD and Booker, they're going to do what they do, make them pull up maestros. But Jamal Murray, I think he's going to bring his own energy. I think he's going to be able to get downhill. But I think it's going to be an opportunity for him to be like, look, bro, I'm here. And game 1, this is what you can expect, especially in Denver. This is what you can expect. So I do think that Denver Nuggets get it done tonight. Somebody asked, Wiper, what do you think? Will KD help defense bother Joker? Yeah, it can. He's not as big as Karl Anthony Towns or Rudy Gobert. And again, this is not Rudy and Cat or Rudy and Derek Favors. So I think it can, but the issue is that he doesn't have the same physical profile or rim protection to offer that. And then on top of that, Ayton is just not Rudy. So the biggest thing is they don't have Rudy Gobert. They have DeAndre Ayton. And even, Rudy got cooked. So the thing is that I think that's what's going to help a lot in this matchup. So if I had to give a score prediction tonight, I don't know how high scoring this. I'm going to say final score tonight. I'll say I'll do 116 to 108. Denver Nuggets win 116 to 108. I think that sounds about right. Maybe something along that. If it's a little higher scoring, then it's going to be like 120 to 114, which you definitely could get to. But the Nuggets defense, we'll have to see how they respond. So I would say if it's a little high scoring, 120 to 114, I think 116 to 108 is kind of how I'm feeling. But we'll see. I think the Denver Nuggets pull it out. But let me know what y'all think in the comment section. Let me know how you think game 1's going to go. Man, there's a lot of stuff to get into. If the Denver Nuggets, if they win tonight, or if they lose, if the Suns win, we'll have to find out. But we're going to have great content to dive into because we got a lot to look at in this series. So after the game, right after, immediately. We're going to have a post game going up. I'm going to have stuff coming out on Twitter. So make sure you follow me on Twitter. If you're not, that's where you're going to hear from me all the time. Y'all, buckle up, get your food, get your popcorn, get your pizza, get your drink, get your couch, get your whatever, get your bed, get whatever set up, your little table set up. If you in Serbia, make sure you got your snack available or whatever item that you want to eat watching the game. This is going to be big. This is going to be a really good game. Could be the best series in the second round, but we'll see, y'all. Hey, swipe a game. This is what it is. I told y'all the playoffs start now. The playoffs start now for the Denver Nuggets because this is when the competition actually begins. So, y'all, hit the subscribe button, hit the like button. You know what? Denver Nuggets game up. This is the Phoenix Suns on the way. I will see y'all after the game, and we are out.